Well, I mean, Nicole Malio Stock Tips, as I call her now, I mean, she's insider trading, and it's almost evident if you look at her disclosures.
How's everybody doing? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and today we got to talk about disgraced, I guess you would say, former GOP House Rep from New York, George Santos, exposing the corruption within Washington, D.C. on his way out the door. And I like this a lot because in my video about George Santos I did not give him any excuses for what he did. And if you don't know the allegations, no convictions as of yet, which is a different story, and I digress. The allegations against George Santos is that he misappropriated campaign money. He took money from the campaign, put it into his own pocket, went out there to buy luxury designer glasses and clothing and just an exorbitant lifestyle. Some things that he is accused of doing could be crimes that get him time in the penitentiary. Now, in my video, I said, I'm not trying to excuse him if the allegations are true. However, corruption in DC is common and regular. It's to the point now where corruption in DC is as American as apple pie, baseball, football on a Saturday, Sunday, all that good stuff. It's pretty much one and the same. Now, before I go too far into it, let's watch some of the interview with George Santos. This is like an 18 or 19 minute long interview. I won't play the entire thing here. I will place the entire interview in the description box. If you're an IG, visit a link in the bio, go to the corresponding article on the website. But without further ado, let's go ahead and roll it.
But as we're sitting here, there are Common Cause and some politicians, Senator John Liu, they're actually having a press conference outside your former office to say that there should be new laws that would strengthen candidate disclosure laws. How do you feel about that?
I think that.
So basically, candidate disclosure, what I'm thinking that she means or that they mean by that is to properly vet somebody before they become a candidate, before they're able to get into Congress. Okay, what's going on with this guy or this girl? Are they really going to be who they say they are? Because the thing about George Santos, aside from the campaign finance allegations, there was some lies about his resume. It was some fake stuff on there, some fake qualifications, fake jobs. And then it was, I think he said that he called himself Jewish, but he really wasn't. And he was like, well, I'm Jew-ish. Stuff like that he is accused of doing. And people are saying, well, these red flags were ignored, therefore we got a toxic candidate. So let's keep on going.
That's fantastic. I think that's fantastic, and it would hold Senator John Liu to a higher standard, especially after his embroilment with corruption here in New York City when he was comptroller. So I think if he would adhere to that standard, he wouldn't be a sitting senator today.
Yeah, but is this something that will go down on your resume, that he was the reason why New York strengthened their disclosure laws for candidates?
Would love it. I think that would be a badge of honor.
Would that have prevented you from doing what you did?
Well, and I'll tell you this, it would be a badge of honor because we need to seed out corruption in public office. Just look around us. There's a lot of corruption going around us here in New York. Long Island is a corruption cesspool. I know that there's a mirage that everything goes well and works well, but behind closed doors, it is just so corrupt. It's disturbing.
Now, George Santos may, and I say keyword may, be corrupt. However, what I think happened is that he thought he could just do what everybody else is doing. Oh, you're doing this and you're doing that. I'm going to do it as well without going through the proper channels. You see, the corruption in Washington, D.C. and the corruption on a local level, like you say in New York, Long Island or whatever, the corruption is done in a way that abides by some laws. Unethical, yes. Illegal, not necessarily. He just didn't follow the law properly. That's what it looks like, in my humble opinion. Let's keep on going.
But some people would say this is like the pot calling the kettle black because, you know, you were accused of lying on a whole bunch of things.
I saw how the sausage is made, and I have receipts, and I'm willing to show the American people. You don't need to believe me. Believe the proof and the evidence.
And when are you going to give us that proof?
Oh, I'll be putting it all out soon. So I'll give a lot to you, I promise.
On December 4th, you posted on X, which is the former Twitter, quote, "The truth will set me free."
And it will.
What did you mean by that?
Just from now on, as painful as it is, doesn't matter who it's going to hurt. I think the truth is the only acceptable path forward. Don't don't omit, don't lie, don't embellish. It's the plain truth. And that's an oath I take to myself moving forward, just to make sure that I'm moving in a direction where we will be as transparent, and I'm sorry if it hurts sometimes.
So one thing about politicians people like is that they lie. People like lies. They like lies that make them feel good. What they don't like is when a lie gets exposed and then they get to feeling like they were taken advantage of. But as long as a lie is uphill and you don't know any better, then it's all good. That's how this whole thing works, which is why people like Trump and Vivek and many others are hated by sometimes the general public, not all the time, obviously, with Trump and Vivek. A lot of us like them, but not everybody does. This is why they're hated by the mainstream media, by the political establishment, because what the mainstream media and the political people know is that people like to be lied to. They like to be sold a dream, an illusion. They like to be manipulated. That's what they know. But that's not true for everybody, especially when we know what the game is. When you're outside of the matrix and you're able to see what's happening, you don't like being taken advantage of. You don't like the lies. You detest it. Let's keep on going.
So do you think that people will believe you? Giving everything else that's happened, will people believe you?
I'll build trust. That's the goal, is to rebuild trust with the American public and with all the people who voted for me.
So you keep talking about corruption. So after you left office, you vowed to file ethics complaints against a number of Congress people from the New York metropolitan area. Mike Lawler, Nicole Maliotakis, Nick LaLota, and of course Rob Menendez from New Jersey. Why, and have you?
Well, now Bob Menendez got his own problems, because didn't they find gold bars in this house, and they found some of the gold bars and the jacket with his name on it. If that's incorrect, y'all please correct me. I don't want to say anything wrong. I don't want to spread misinformation, but that's the allegation. I'm sure that's what I read. I'm sure I saw a news report about that, about the gold bars in this house and cash in this house and all kind of stuff like that. So again, the corruption in Washington, D.C., federal government, and also local, state, city governments is deep. A friend of mine went to prison for stuff like this, okay? And she was one of the best people that I knew, okay? This is really a crazy thing that's going on, and it's really, really, really crazy at the federal level. That's part of the reason why I loathe the federal government, because they're too big, too powerful, and too corrupt.
I mean, Nicole Maliotakis, as I call her now, I mean, she's insider trading, and it's almost evident if you look at her disclosures. I mean, it's not hard to see.
How do we prove that?
Oh, it's very easy. She receives classified briefings as a member of the Ways and Means Committee. It takes a very competent FBI officer to go look at her trading and how it works, and just look at her communication. This is all digitized these days. It's not hard to see a person saying, hey, do this trade, just got a good tip.
She's pushed back on that, though.
Yeah, well, they all push back. But can somebody explain to me, how is it that she miraculously becomes a member of the committee, and then she's doing trades on NYCB with the Signature Bank collapse just the day before, having an 80% stock?
Whoa, George, you spilling way too much. You're spilling way too much tea, as a cool kid say. Let's hold on, because that was a bombshell. If that's true, and again, these are allegations. It's all allegations. It's allegations against him, allegations against Nicole Maliotakis. These are all allegations. But let's go back a little bit. Let's go back.
Well, digitized these days. It's not hard to see a person saying, hey, do this trade, just got a good tip.
She's pushed back on that, though.
Yeah, well, they all push back. But can somebody explain to me, how is it that she miraculously becomes a member of the committee, and then she's doing trades on NYCB with the Signature Bank collapse just the day before, having an 80% stock hike? That's not a lucky trade, Marcia. That's a very well-informed trade.
So Mike Lawler tells me the charges you made against him are completely false.
No, they're not false either. If you go on the FEC and you look at Checkmate Strategies, which is one of the consulting firms who received the bulk of his campaign funds last cycle, he is a stakeholder, a third stakeholder in the company, which means campaign donors donate to his campaign, he hires his own firm, pays his own firm to do the services, and the money cycles back into his pocket.
Yes. That's how it goes. Yes, you are telling the truth. That's DC. That's government, especially the feds. That's how it works. 100%. George Santos And I'll leave the rest of this. I won't play the whole thing. I'll leave the rest of this video in the box. You got to watch it. But for time's sake and to give them their shine, I won't play the whole thing. All right. But what he's saying is exactly how it works. There's all kinds of ways to get around some of the laws that are put in place. What George Santos is accused of doing is just not following proper procedure to siphon campaign money. That's all. It's not illegal to siphon campaign money and put it into your own pocket necessarily, but it's illegal to do it in a certain kind of way. And that's the problem. That is a problem. So shout out to George Santos. Hopefully on your way out, you expose everybody and then they get kicked out. But again, a lot of what he's saying is not necessarily illegal. It's unethical. So hopefully their constituents vote them out, and hopefully this culture of siphoning money and the thing is, it's like, you guys are not poor. Like if you're in the federal government, you're making what, like $175,000? You can't live on that. I mean, why you got to steal? But it's so easy to steal money. It's so easy to take it. All you got to do is talk to somebody that knows what's going on, talk to a legal person, have them set everything up for you, and just steal and just loot. We're getting to the point of a third world country type situation where you got the guys, you know, that have come from a foreign company, a foreign country, give you a big bag of money and do whatever they want to do. That's pretty much where we're headed toward in this country, and I don't like it. And this is exactly, again, the reason why Donald Trump, Vivek, Rand Paul, Ron Paul, this is why they are so attractive, because they don't fall into all that ridiculous, corrupt nonsense that we know goes on at a state and especially federal level. And I think I'll leave that right there for now. And what say you? What's your take on what George Santos was saying here? Do you think that he's telling the truth about the corruption in state and federal government? Whatever your thoughts are, let me know in the comments below. You guys know where I'm at. He is 1000% telling the truth. He is not lying when it comes to that. Now, he may have stretched the truth and or lie allegedly about some other stuff, about his resume and things of this nature. But about this, I've been saying this for years. This is a thing that is known. People have gotten locked. I know personal friends that have gotten to jail over this. This is not a thing that's a secret. It's probably the worst kept secret in all of politics. Normies don't know about it. They'll watch Fox News, MS-13 DNC, and they won't speak on this because they probably in on it as well. The media and the politicals is a whole different story. People like Karine Jean-Pierre, the White House press secretary, is married to Suzanne Marveau, who works at Common News Network. And you're wondering how Common News Network gets a tip when a certain somebody got raided. Okay, they were on the scene before the police got there. So what's going on with that? We know how it works. You got this really unholy alliance, unholy connection. You got money, power, influence, everything involved. And when you try to break through that, when you try to expose it, they discard you. Where's Madison Cawthorn at? Remember him? Remember the guy that was in the wheelchair? He was becoming the rock star in the Republican Party. All of a sudden, he said something about a sex party at his colleague's home, and you didn't hear from him ever again. That's how it goes. But whatever your thoughts are, please let me know in the comments below. And that's all I got to say for this video. If you like what you heard, please comment, rate, share, and subscribe. Peace.